shall conquer, conquer them. Come on, let's conquer. Oh, I will conquer. Rise up and conquer, conquer them. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my blade. Fire burn all Satan carrier. Father loose all shackles and chain. This morning first thing as I wake up, King David tells Sam to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people, you go meet it up. Pass me the Congo drum and let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it up. No weapon that form against us shall not prevail. No man that rise against us, that war they shall never win. Because I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer, conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer, conquer them. Thank you, Father. I want to say thank you, Lord. You're everything, Father. Thank you. Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of my friends turn enemies, and they pray for right to feel. And remember you gave us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of life. Send down your warriors with the hello. They carry down to the end of days. No matter how the devil tries to trick me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this time is coming. I can see the high tide raise. Without you there is no other. Could it be that we is myself? No weapon that form against us shall not prevail. No man that rise against us, that war they shall never win. Because I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer, conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer, conquer them. I am a man, I am a champion, I am a warrior. So who are you to tell me that I cannot make? Who are you to tell me that I am not the greatest thing that God ever created?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on the various radio stations. 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 CRFM, 91.9 and 91.5 RealFM Radio, 92.9 Sister Al Radio broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York. A very special good morning as well to those of you joining us on the live video stream, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are joining us from. A very special good morning to you. It is a Thursday, and it's also the first day of the month of July. The year is going by very fast. And with me in studio this morning, I have my co-host, Mr. Roland Bola. Good morning, Mr. Bola.
Good morning, Ms. Duncan.
I almost forget your name there for a minute now.
Well, that's fine. I mean, sometimes people do forget, and I don't know in particular that there's so much things about me or so much things of importance that you should remember about me or even to remember my name. So that's all right.
Look at that.
That's cool with me.
Look at that.
But I must say, you are in dark colors like the clouds this morning, but they look good on you. A gentleman chastised me the other day and said that as a gentleman, I should always be looking
and I agree.
at you. And so this morning, I made it a point of duty to look at you, head to toe, back to front, side to side.
Yes.
And yes, maybe you oftentimes look attractive, but I don't
You've
always...
never noticed until somebody brought it to your attention.
Yeah, I don't always
Look at
notice,
that.
but this morning you're looking...
I don't know how to feel about that.
Don't feel anyway. That's me talking. You don't have to feel. Just allow me to express myself and stop feeling. Yes. Good morning to our listeners out there, wherever you are in the beautiful state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, or where else in the Eastern Caribbean, or further out in the diaspora like New York or Washington, Miami, Florida, wherever you may be. If you're picking up our signal on any of the platforms, I say a very pleasant good morning to you if it is morning in your neck of the woods, or good evening, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are. We are happy that you can join us. We are an hard talk. Today may be a rainy day in Grenada. Yesterday evening we had some bouts of thunder, some lightning, some rain. Some places got more than others, but based on the forecast, and I think it was yesterday or the day before, we did mention that there was a tropical wave, and based
there were two actually. One passed yesterday,
yes,
and one is no longer a tropical storm. Tropical wave. It's a tropical storm.
Right, that's
Elsa.
the one I was talking about, that had the possibility. But 2 days ago when we spoke about it, I did mention that
it was a wave.
It was a
97L.
wave and had the possibility of developing into a tropical storm, which is what it is now, and Grenada and its dependencies, as most of the other Windward Islands, we were told that there is a strong possibility, if it doesn't change course within the next so many hours, that we can have or be severely affected.
Right.
By
So
that.
islands like St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Barbados, those islands are under tropical storm warning. They're under warning now. As of this morning, Grenada and its dependencies were placed on a tropical storm watch. I know that there is a meeting that is happening now with NIAC, and they will be looking at the situation, and I assume looking at the coordinates and so on, and putting plans in place. But I do know that for tomorrow's program, Mr. Bola, considering that the weather allows us to do what we need to do. We have plans to have NOASA here, and also a representative from NADMA, to really give us an in-depth look at what is going on. But before we continue, I just want to share the last media release that was sent out by the National Disaster Management Agency, and that, of course, will change based on the information that I've received after that meeting commences with NIAC, right? Because they're currently in an emergency session, so we'll see what comes out of that. There are a few particulars in this release that has changed since the time it was sent out. A severe weather advisory has been issued by the Meteorological Office of the Maurice Bishop International Airport. The bulletin provided Wednesday evening to NADMA references two weather systems, one of which is already affecting the country. The bulletin states that at 5 p.m., the disturbance was centered near latitude 9.6 degrees north and longitude 43.7 degrees west. Right? And that's about 1,050 nautical miles southeast of Grenada. The system is moving towards the west-northwest at 21 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds near 35 miles per hour. Now, that has since changed. It's no longer 35, it is 40 miles per hour. Some strengthening is forecasted during the next 48 hours, and the disturbance has a higher chance of becoming a tropical cyclone, which is now the case. It is now a tropical cyclone. So we are expecting some severe weather. And I do want to, Mr. Bola, just give the 8 o'clock update. There was an 8 o'clock update. Let me see if I could pull it up real quick here so we can take a look at it and know where. Okay, so Tropical Storm Elsa, immediate advisory, number 3A, that was at 8 o'clock this morning. Its location was 9.6 degrees north and 50.2 degrees west. So it's still kind of treading on the same the same course. The only thing that concerns me about this is that Grenada sits at 12.1 degrees north on the latitude. Sorry, so I think it's a lot lower than we would want it to be. So we do still have to look at it. The maximum sustained winds are at 40 miles per hour, and tropical storm warnings have been issued for Barbados, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, and tropical storm watch has been in effect for Guadeloupe, Grenada, and its dependencies as well, right? And as we know, a tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area of 36 hours. And a tropical storm watch means that tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area. In this case, it is 36 hours as well. So definitely something for us to watch, to keep an eye on.
Well, I think it's more than keeping an eye on it. It's important. We should keep an eye, but I think we should also get into preparation mood.
Absolutely.
Start doing the things that we need to do, making sure that we recheck our batteries, our lights, stored water,
yes,
and things like that. We do hope and pray that nothing serious, nothing untoward happened. If it can dissipate before it gets to Grenada, or probably it changes its direction or something like that. Because at this present stage in our country's development and growth, I am not sure that we can, really handle, some sort of destruction,
like that,
coming about as a result of severe weather conditions. I mean, we are already battling and trying to deal with COVID as it is, vaccine hesitation, and all of those things. And on top of that, lower than normal revenue collection, the needs of the populace growing, and the demands made on central government becoming greater and greater. And to add on top of all of that, some sort of destruction of property, loss of lives, infrastructure damage, as a result of a tropical storm, or if it further develops into a hurricane, whatever the case may be. It is not something that any one of us would relish. And I mean, not just Grenada, I think the entire sub-region. So it is our hope and pray that it really doesn't come, but be that as it may, we have to be prepared. As someone once said, is that we cannot determine or prevent the weather systems. We cannot determine when they are formed and where they go. They have a life and a management system of their own. The science has been applied, and there are different things that they try to do to limit their strength and the destructive capacity. However, as humans, what we really can do is prepare ourselves for those natural disasters. So if we are well prepared and things are in place and we dot the I's and cross the T's, if and when it happens, it doesn't take us by surprise, and of course, the damage that it can do will be minimized because we were prepared and we had things in place. So that's what I want to advise people.
And as the weather professionals are saying, the meteorologists are saying, based on what they're seeing, it's expected to affect the islands by Friday. Now, Friday can mean anytime after 12 o'clock midnight tonight.
Yes.
Because what they're saying is that they expect it to move over the Eastern Caribbean Sea late Friday into Friday night, which means that it would most likely affect us into the early hours of Friday morning. So we have to definitely take heed of that. It's only 780-something miles, I think, east of the Windward Islands. That's east-southeast of us. The southern Windward Islands. So I just want us to keep an eye open but prepare. It's important. Do all of the necessary things, and just in case we aren't able to sit at the program tomorrow, we know what we're supposed to do in terms of water storage and so on. You store at least 35 gallons per person per day. But it does not mean you only store that, right? That is the minimum in which you store. You want to store more than that, because even if we don't get directly affected, we're going to get some water, and we know what that means. In some cases, there may be damages done to dams, blockages, and so on, that could also restrict us from getting access to water as we're supposed to. So you want to make sure that you store water and so on. You want to make sure that you have, whether it's your candles or your lanterns or your flashlights or so on, that you have batteries or kerosene. People that sell kerosene lamp?
They do. There's some lanterns and so that still use that fluid. It is not as popular as it once was. A lot of those items are being made solar now.
Right.
Which has an advantage but also a disadvantage, because if they're not properly charged, then you don't get the effect of the lights because you need them. And most of them do not come with battery storage. There are some apparatus or appliances, well, I don't know if they are appliances, gadgets probably, that are solar powered, but they do have a battery that can store the energy.
Yes.
So even when you don't have sun,
you could still use
them. But there are a lot of them that don't have that. They just have a capacity to store for a couple of hours, some up to 24 hours, and then it goes. So yes, they do have. I've seen, not in the very, very recent weeks or months, because I have not been looking for that, but they do have. I have seen in the last year or so some of these lamps or lanterns, as they are called sometimes, that are operated by the kerosene fluid.
Right, so you want to make sure that you have all these things in place. You want to make sure that you put aside, some extra clothing. But for the people in flood prone and areas that are prone to slippages, would pay closest attention, because you want to make sure that your surroundings are safe. And even if there is an iota of uncertainty, that you make necessary preparations for evacuation. The list of the approved emergency shelters has been released. What we try to do, Mr. Bola, at the end of the program is post it to our HARDTALK page, so that our viewers and listeners can go there and reference and cross-reference, so that even if you're in the diaspora and you know of your family member that is in an area that may be prone to slippages, especially on that western coast, you would want to ask them to evacuate. Sometimes we say nothing can come in, but you want to be safe rather than sorry. You want to make sure that you are prepared, and nothing happens, rather than be unprepared and then something actually does happen. So you want to make those necessary preparations for something like that. Let's see here. Oh, somebody just sent me a very nice message. Maybe I should share with you. Actually, it's
with
coming.
With me or with the public?
No, I'm speaking to the public now.
Oh, okay. You see, for one moment...
You're just a bystander.
No, I'm just statistics.
No, this is actually coming from the Ministry of Agriculture, and it reads, weather system out there, we share with you, the farmers, some tips to be mindful of. The Ministry of Agriculture advises farmers with open irrigation systems that when the storm watch or hurricane warning is issued, the following preventative measures must be taken before the storm arrives. So in our case, we're on the storm watch. So you want to make sure that you make these necessary adjustments to protect your livelihood and your livestock. Right. Yeah.
Also your investment, because your farm, and so that's where you invest your time and your money.
Yes. And it reads, remove all irrigation lines. Mr. Bola, and I for you too, because he's a big time farmer.
Remove that.
Remove all irrigation lines that are not buried, including drip lines and sprinklers, and store them in a safe place to prevent water from carrying them away or wind from blowing them away. Remove suction holes from rivers and store in a place secure in a safe place. Secure the pump unit away from the riverbanks and place it in such a location where they cannot be flooded or carried away from the pump house. Remove all fuel, oils, chemicals, and other supplies stored in pump houses and secure in a safe place. If a dam is or was built in the river course using sandbags, stones, or other material, remove so that the water in the river can flow freely. Clear all drains and remove debris from the water course. And during the passage of the storm or hurricane, farmers should not attempt to go and rescue their equipment. Please protect your family and animals and your lives by taking the appropriate action and taking that action early. I might add.
Yep. It is testament to what we've just said moments ago.
Yes.
That we should be prepared for whatever eventuality. Our hope is that it may never happen.
Yes.
We may never see that kind of weather system hitting us, but we need to be prepared. That's what we can do. We can't prevent it. We can't hold our hands out, like in the days of Jesus when the disciples was in the boat and the water was turbulent and he just put his hand out and stopped the winds and settled the water. We don't have that power. Yeah. And if there is anyone who has it, well, thank God they're still around and they can do it. But as far as I know, that doesn't exist among men at this present time. So the next best thing we can do is prepare.
And speaking about it doesn't mean that you are wishing for it to come. Speaking about it just means that you are aware that there is a possibility and that you are making the necessary arrangements to ensure that you are prepared for any eventuality that may come your way. So something as small as I shouldn't even say small. Something that we may see that is trivial, like filling sandbags. A lot of people don't do that. And then you're living in an area where a drain might be blocked for some reason, and you're wondering, well, where all this water coming from? But it's an eventuality, it's a possibility. So you want to make sure that you put these kind of plans in place. You have to look at your overhead, look to see if there are any overhanging bushels over your house, anything that may
overhanging trees.
Trees, well, bushels
Can't be
as well.
No, bushes.
What do you mean?
Bush.
People are living on slope and have bush hanging all over their house. What is wrong with you?
Okay.
Yes, so you want to make sure that you put in place all of the necessary arrangements for your safety and the safety of your family and the safety of your livestock, whatever it is that you have, your animals, your pets, whatever it is, you want to put all of these things in place. You also want to make sure that if there is a possibility that you are in a position where you need to move, that you move early, right? That you move early. The Ministry of Health also advises that fruit trees should be pruned. Of course, these are things that should happen as soon as the season starts. So you want to make sure that these things are done so that they don't affect, they are not affected, by the inclement weather.
Good. So you have NADMA putting out release.
Oh, and another thing, Mr. Bola, I know as a people, when we hear these things, the first thing we just do is panic buy it. All the cricks in the supermarket does be gone. The lines does be long, because we tend to go into that mode where we feel like, you know what, I'm going to buy all this food and I'm going to put it up there. And I don't think that is absolutely necessary. You want to get some necessities just in the event that you have a little day or so that restricts you from moving because there may be a slide or something of that nature. But I don't think we are at a place where we need to go panic buying, because we still have to remember COVID kind of.
A panic in anything, whether it's buying, it's selling, when you do it in a panic mood, it's never done correctly because your minds are not as clear as they should be. And you sometimes buy stuff that you already have because you weren't thinking clear. And so forth. So we need to have, that's why planning prior to an event like that is absolutely necessary. You plan your list or you record every move, every move that you would make during the process and prior to the coming of a system of those nature. You can retract the things that you need to do, A lot of it has been mentioned coming from the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Health in terms of pruning overhanging trees, making sure that through heavy rainfall, downpour, and strong winds, that trees don't fall back on your living quarters on your house, Could be deadly, very dangerous, not even mentioning the damages that they can do when that happens. So you want to make sure you take care of those things. If you have any sort of drains that are close to your buildings, to the front, to the back, to the side, wherever they are, that you use this opportunity as well to clear them up. Whatever debris, whatever is blocking, that can cause water to accumulate, you want to make sure that you clear all that so the water can run when it rains, because sometimes in those situations we get a lot of rain coming in a short space of time, very heavy, and can cause serious build-up of excess water easily. I'm
hoping that at this point, maybe, that's just a hope, maybe it's already happening, but I'm hoping that I think they're under the Ministry of Works, those environmental wardens. I'm hoping that the Ministry of Works will deploy some in the different communities just to make a run through to make sure that drains are unblocked and so on, and also solicit the assistance of people within the communities to assist them in unblocking blocked drains, because that can be one of the most problematic things that happens when we have these kinds of situations. Mr. Bolo, we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, caller, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Sure you're not having a problem down there?
No. I think we've lost the call, actually. Either the person isn't hearing on their end or something of the sort. Yeah, because we often hear of individuals speaking about, the drain in front of my house blocked since, but the drain is in front of your house. So I feel like you and your neighbors who will be affected by the blocked drain should take the initiative to go ahead and start unblocking the drain. Sometimes we wait until
but not just wait until. We wait on government because we think it's a governmental responsibility. We take very slim or absolutely no responsibility for our own well-being and that of our family. We always seem to believe that that's not my role, that's the government role. Most among us believe that way. But you want to safeguard yourself and safeguard your family. You want to protect your property. You want your pets and everything to be safe during and even after any one of those incidents. So you must do what is necessary to protect you and those loved ones of yours. Sometimes even to help a neighbor. Sometimes you have some incapacitated people that live close by, or people that you know that are not mobile, housebound as we call them, and some of them live by themselves. I think it is our neighborly duty, it is our duty as Christian people to look out for those who are less fortunate and incapable of doing the best for themselves. So there's work to be done, and I really do hope that people recognize it as it is and not look again at it as a political issue. The issue of a hurricane, a tropical storm, whatever it may be, is not apolitical. This is a non-political issue.
It is.
And we must not politicize it. We must not act in such a manner that my party, or she with us, she on the other side, he on the other side. This one is an NP and that one is an NDC, and make decisions based on that. We must make decisions to help ourselves, our family, our loved ones, and the people around us based on need and not on political affiliation. This is a natural disaster we are expecting, one that we hope will not come to further compound our already difficult situation and conditions. But if it does, let it not catch us napping. We should be ready, we should be prepared. So let's get proactive. Let's not sit back and, he ain't coming, man. Among the time they say we have a tropical storm before and it never come. You just don't know.
Absolutely.
You just don't know. It took, 50 years or so after Janet to see Ivan? We don't know. But it took 1 year, within months, from Ivan to Emily.
Yeah.
So we just need to be careful. We need to be proactive. We need to be clear-minded. And let's all do what we're supposed to do. Let's prepare. Call up your friend, call up your neighbor. If they're not listening, tell them, look, we are expecting some kind of dangerous or adverse weather situation. And I'm just letting you know, I think the best thing we can do is to prepare for it.
And as you said, especially for people in the area that are shut-ins and so on, you want to make sure you check on them, make sure that they have the necessity. So even if they don't have to move from where they are to a shelter, that they have, whether it's candles or lights or, well, you probably don't want to get them.
No, I don't think that's a good suggestion at this time for that kind of condition. If you have the lantern type stuff, yes, but not candles. Wow, no, I don't think so.
You want to make sure that they have everything that they need, pretty much, to get through whatever weather system that we are.
And you encourage them to put away the documents, important documents, birth certificate, passports, everything, in sealed plastic bags. If you have the Ziploc bags, if not, you can wrap them in more than one bag and have them placed in a safe cupboard or something, a drawer,
Yeah. Mr. Bono, we're going to take a short break, and after this break, we'll come back with some more conversation. So you guys stay tuned. We're taking a short break.
If you feel hungry, make sure you pass by me.
Hello, these are your government notices for today, Thursday, July 1st, 2021. I am Caroline Peters. The Climate Resilient Agriculture Project, in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, is calling for applications from Grenadian agro-processors, agro-tourism and related small businesses seeking to invest in digital solutions to support their operations. Grants of up to $30,000 will be available for digital initiatives such as digital payments, supply chain traceability initiatives, digital marketing, and more. Apply by July 23rd, 2021. Applicants who apply before July 15th will have the opportunity to seek feedback on their applications prior to final submissions. For more information, you can visit the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry Facebook page or call 440-2708. The countdown of the T20 International Series has begun. West Indies and South Africa have played a total of 3 matches out of 5 matches. Representative from the local organizing committee, Kerry Frank, says they are pleased with the execution of the series thus far and aims to continue success through the duration of the games. The next 2 matches will be held on July 1st and 3rd. Tickets can be purchased at the box office at the National Stadium. The public is reminded that they must have a valid ID and COVID-19 certificate. Wesley College is the venue for the second in the series of youth parliamentary sessions, which recently kicked off at the MacDonald College. The Wesley College event will be held on Thursday, July 8th. Minister with responsibility for youth development, Honorable Kate Lewis, says the parish youth parliamentary sessions play an integral role in the overall development of young people who are interested in pursuing a political career. July 14th, St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary School. July 21st, Westerhall Secondary School. July 28th, St. Mark's Secondary School. And August 19th, Carriacou Health Service. And now for your government reminder. The following is the vaccine locations for this week. Today, Thursday, July 1st, the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, Gate B, health centers, and the St. Augustine Medical Services. On Friday, July 2nd, the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, Gate B, and health centers. The public is advised that an appointment must be made before visiting health centers to receive the COVID vaccine. All stations will be opened from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., except the St. Augustine Medical Services, which opens from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. The government of Grenada says thank you to all who have taken the AstraZeneca vaccine. These are your government notices for today, Thursday, July 1st, 2021. I am Carleen Peters.
All right, guys, and we are back. Mr. Bola, we hit the 20,000 mark, you know.
Well, that's wonderful. Congratulations to Grenada, but I would have hoped to hear that, we hit 40,000 now, to get closer to. Let me be careful how I use that word. Herd immunity.
Herd immunity.
Because there are some people who are misinterpreting, in my opinion, and asking if we are animals. So, but come the end will always be coming the end. So, everything becomes a joke.
Until
but it's good.
It's no longer a joke.
Yeah, it's good that we have gotten there. I hope that we'll go stride by stride, step by step, towards that 70,000 mark that we're supposed to meet.
Yeah, I hope so too. We need to get there, and we need to get there quickly. I read an article yesterday about a gentleman who rejected the COVID-19 vaccine and then almost died from COVID.
I saw this. I did not read it, to be honest. But I saw someone sent me the article or whatever it is, and I didn't get to read it. But, it just tells you that sometimes we gamble a little too much. The stakes are too high, Someone once asked, which is easier, to have a little side effects from taking a vaccine that will protect you, or to have a box closed forever over you.
I guess they mean when they're in the box, they don't know and can't feel nothing. So
I don't know what they mean. They didn't explain the meaning, but the question was asked. And these are the questions, or this is one of the questions that we need to ask ourselves, honestly, sit with ourselves. You don't have to ask anybody else. You can just ask yourself, what is better? What is easier? The fear that I have, that, a needle is going to go into my arm, the fear that I have that I may have a little headache, I may have some dizziness for a day or two. Is it worth risking my life in such a high-stakes situation?
Yeah.
As opposed to dealing effectively? Because look, you say 20,000 and growing now. How many of these 20,000 people we heard got seriously ill and was hospitalized or died or, as a result of taking the vaccine? The amount of vaccine, we had that document the other day, I don't know what you did with it, that spoke about the number of vaccines that we have taken in Grenada already and have around for measles, rubella, polio, whooping cough. All of those are vaccines that we have taken.
Yes.
Most of us in Grenada, because it was sort of mandatory. If you didn't get it as a child in hospital, you'll get it when you enter school.
Yes.
Through the school system. But here we are, surviving, the majority of us. So I don't understand all of the, the big noise, let me just put it that, about vaccine. But like we have said before, and I want to repeat, it is everyone's right to have concern. It is anyone's right to ask a question.
Yeah.
It is the right of any person, if you do not feel that you know enough about anything about the vaccine or so, to seek more information. No one is beating you on the head for that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, see the wisdom in taking it. Understand that by taking it, the tremendous good you will be doing for yourself and family, but also for the nation of Grenada.
You know, I've seen in looking at the news, I see that some of the some political activists, along with civil servants, I don't know, they didn't specify who the political activists were, not civil servants, sorry, civil society, have joined with some of the protesters at the St. George's University. Now, the union has not joined them, nor have they indicated that there was industrial action being taken against the university. This is just a group of individuals who believe that it is their right to not get vaccinated, but do not understand that it is also the university's right to protect the rest of workers who are vaccinated.
I wonder if they don't understand it, they just feel that their right is a better right, a stronger right. I have two rights. You have one, you are right and a left. Some people behave that way sometimes. But I honestly do hope that issues like that and others surrounding vaccine and other things that we should be able to sit around the table and have dialogue and be able to iron out, that it doesn't escalate into more serious industrial action and further damage the weak economy that we have, because we are just sort of climbing out slowly from that hole. We are not there yet. But we are getting there. There's hope. There's some bright light down at the end of the tunnel, and we are nearing that. Every time something like what is happening now, really as you comes up, it further pushes us back. The distance that is created between ourselves and the light that we're seeking to get to shine on Grenada becomes a little more distant. And that's not what you want, Any conscious-minded individual, any patriotic Grenadian, and I'm not meaning that those who are protesting are not patriotic, but in my opinion, they seem to lack a little bit of understanding. Not assessing the situation well enough.
Mr. Bola, I could understand if you don't understand something and you're seeking for further clarification. But when you don't understand and you're just not trying to understand, I have a problem with that.
Well, that's your problem.
I have a problem with that. It's something that is plaguing us, where people believe that what they know is what they know, and they're not going to seek to know anything different. Even if what they know has proven to not make sense. They just know what they know, and that is it. I ain't care what nobody say. I just know.
And
I
have
know
people like
that the vaccine is going to track me from St. George's to St. Andrews. I don't know.
They know what they were told. They were told. And they just believe what they were told.
It's very ridiculous, for lack of a better word.
Appears to be ridiculous, but some people have their own convictions.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
For whatever the reasons, they hold on to some of the convictions that they have, even after being told many times that your conviction is a wrong one.
Yeah.
After being showed where they are going wrong, they just hold on. Some people are very traditional in their ways of thinking and acting.
Yeah. Mr. Bola, good news for us here in Grenada. I believe that it was only yesterday that it was announced that they are taking the sex offenders registry to Parliament very soon for debate.
The registry or the legislation that should
the
form?
Legislation that would form the registry. Yeah. And I think that is important, because we have noticed that over the first quarter of this year actually has had more cases of sexual offenses than any of the other years recorded. And that is very unfortunate.
Well, with the lockdown, I don't know the rationale for the increase. But I'm just thinking that, with the disruptions that we have on hand as a result of COVID, the lockdown, schools are off or had been off for a long time. You know, there's just more people home and about and around the house, may have led to. And this is just my thinking. It is not any proven fact. I don't really know why. I'm just throwing out an idea.
Yeah.
But the whole issue of sex predators, the whole issue of us violating the rights and so of other people, you know, children in particular,
Yep.
that has not reached consensual age as yet. And I think it's criminal and very advantageous of some of us. And I have no difficulty supporting stiffer penalties for persons who commit those kinds of acts.
And stiffer penalty doesn't necessarily mean jail. Eh? I feel like we need to reach as far as like chemical castration and them kind of things.
Well, I won't support you on that, and I'm telling you, period. I mean, I can understand punishment for someone who has an infringement of the law, who has gone beyond where they should be, who has taken that thing too far, especially when it has infants or children involved in what they do. But I am not prepared as a citizen of the state, even if I had the power to get to the point where we should castrate men.
Chemical castration.
I don't know what that means. Castration is castration.
No. Castration is not castration. Listen. Chemical castration means that they use a drug to basically create erectile dysfunction.
I'm not supporting that.
Why not? Listen, I don't even want to say, can you imagine, Mr. Paula?
So let me just let me simplify it. I don't even want you to give the details. Please, let's not go there. I want to ask you a simple question.
Yes.
So you fry fish,
Right.
and your son stole a piece of fish. He didn't ask you for it, right? He stole it. You spoke to him. He did it a second time when you fry fish again. Does that warrant you cutting out his hand?
No.
No. But he did wrong. And I know you will tell me that you can equate the two.
Exactly.
Right.
You cannot.
I understand that. But you would not cut your child hand out, even though he stole your fish repeatedly 10 times or 15 times. Even if he took your money from your purse, the money that you had to pay your bills, the last money to pay your rent, whatever it is, you won't agree to cut his hand out. You prefer bring him and see if you can get him reformed, whatever the case may be. Some people go out by OBR because they say they put him so, they do him wage. I don't know what that could do. Some people go by the priest. I don't think the priest is even strong enough. You may have to bring some people in Rome. The bishop the Pope might be the only person to pray for them. The point I'm making is that we are all humans. We make mistakes.
Yes.
Some of them are more disastrous than others.
Ghastly is the word you're looking for.
But I believe every human being is greater than the act that they commit.
I agree. And I agree that the reform must happen. But I also agree that we must cut off any avenues for a repeat offense. I am sorry, but that is just how I feel. Okay, for example, Mr.
I don't blame you for your feeling.
For example, the law is that you shall not steal. If you steal up to
there's even a commandment that says so.
If you steal up to a certain amount, this is what the law is going to do to you, right? My son, decides, even after proper upbringing, even after knowing the consequence of doing what he has done or plans to do, still decides that he is going to break the law. I expect him to deal with the consequences thereof.
Yes.
Now, there are some things that warrant stiffer penalties.
I agree.
Some examples must be made. Now, I, as a parent, imagine my child being taken advantage of. And my taxpayers' money must fund the same offender and feed him in prison.
Do you feel the same? Would you feel the same way if your child was the offender?
Of course, Mr. Bola, because he knows the ramifications of the act that he has committed. Therefore, he must deal with the consequences. It's what we teach every day, you know. You make a decision to do something, you make a choice, and you deal with the ramifications of the choice.
Consequences that follow.
Right. Now,
right. But it is not yet law. It is not yet law that men must be castrated.
It should be, though.
And I hope it won't be.
It should be.
Well, let's agree to disagree. We agree on this one, yes? I'm not saying that what they're doing is correct, but I believe that there are alternative ways in which we can deal with it. That's my feeling. Okay?
Alternative ways how? Okay, for example, let's say we have two individuals, two young people, both of them under the age of consent, doing what they're doing. No, I don't expect you to castrate the little boy because, you know, two little children come
okay, they're underage, but they're doing it consensually.
But when you're looking at a big, hard back man,
but who tell you the man back hard?
Looking at a little 2-year-old sometimes in
and I understand that is wrong. I can't stomach it.
No, man.
I cannot stomach it. I agree.
And therefore, they must be chemically castrated.
Why? They could be placed into some reform place where they have to.
And then when they come out and they do it a second time, that's what we're waiting for?
Where they have to work repeatedly for the state contribute what they work for. You can lock them up for life. You can do all those things. I don't know.
And then my taxpayers have to feed them for life. Dollars have to feed them for life. Chemically castrate them, and then you can let them go so you know they ain't interfering with nobody else's children. That's just how I feel.
So they are the tongue and the fingers.
Oh God, Mr. Paula, what you want me to say to that?
I don't want you to say anything. I'm just saying.
But that's how I feel. But definitely stricter penalties are needed. How strict the penalties should go or how far they should reach. Oh really? Well, we'll hear about it in the national report. And how far those penalties should reach, I'm not sure what the recommendations are. But trust me, if I were in that position, that would be my recommendation.
Well, I know that does have consultations and so on some of those issues. You could make your recommendations be heard. I don't know how many other people may agree with you. You would find that there are some people who may agree for penalties as stiff as that. There will be some others who may not support it. But you may get consensus at the end of the day.
Someone on the live is saying good morning, on WhatsApp is saying good morning, Miss Duncan and Mr. Bola. I believe that stiffer penalties may make you think a second time about the crime. However,
but did they say they agree to chemical castration?
No, but tell us, do you agree? But Mr. Bola, also you have to remember when somebody commits a crime, they commit the crime with the intention of not getting caught. That is their whole intention. It's not that they've thought about the crime and they think, okay, well, the penalty is real stiff and I'm going to do it or whatever. They think, you know what?
I can do it and get away.
I will take a chance and get away.
Yes.
That is the hope. Now, we catch them, yes, in most cases. Some cases, we don't. Some cases, we don't. And the children still have to suffer. In most cases, Mr. Bola, there are repeat offenses.
Yes, I agree.
If they castrate them the first time, there'll never be a repeat offense.
Maybe that's true.
That is absolutely true. Because it's absolutely true.
There are some wicked-minded people that can use other objects and do what they want to do.
Yeah, but they'll be so emasculated that they wouldn't even feel
I don't know. I just don't feel... and it's not that I am disagreeing with stiffer penalties. It's not that I'm disagreeing with finding a more stringent way to deal with some of those offenders.
The person on WhatsApp said they agree to the max.
To the max. That's why I tell you may find people who agree with you. It's just that you won't find comfort in my heart to do it. I don't feel that should be done to a human being. But that's my feeling. Doesn't mean that my feeling is correct.
And
that's why we can... But you didn't read the law.
No, I haven't, but I'm just saying.
Yes, I agree. I'm in Parliament.
It does not give me comfort.
Being in Parliament don't mean that I have to agree with everything everybody say. I have a mind of my own, and I have a thought and thinking process that I can go through, and I can speak my conscience.
But I'm eagerly waiting to see what that is going to be.
Well,
But
we
it
need
would
we need to go through the document.
But the
to see.
registry, what the registry will also do is that it would also give us an idea
who people
the
are.
offenders
Yeah, because you register them.
Yes.
But does it say that the registry the registration will become public? We have not read it.
We have not read it as yet.
Yeah.
We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Oh, he seems to have lost the call. They'll call back. Yeah, but I agree that we need absolute stricter. Listen, it's difficult being the mother of a female child and a male child in most cases as well, but more so.
Well, and don't say mother, just say parent.
A parent of a female child, where you have to be so concerned about who you leave them around, because they have noticed that in most of these cases, the offenders are people who are close to the home.
Well, that is a fact that has been established quite a while now.
Yeah.
From studies done that 85% of the ones who molest, children, incest and all those things.
Yep.
It's from people who are well known, uncles, cousins, brothers, fathers, stepfathers, people who are in and out of the family.
Yeah. We have a call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Duncan.
Hi, morning.
Morning, Miss Cami.
How we doing? Well, not too bad.
Good.
I just say anything that because someone said.
Yes.
We got some raining good already.
Yes.
We will, based on the projections from the Met Office.
Yeah, all right. So I just started to find out.
Yes.
And I'm not going to cricket.
Well, that will be depending on what the weather look like, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
If it's not coming.
And Mr. Moya and Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
This morning when I leave in home, I see a neighbor dog is dead.
Yes.
Right in the road. So I'm appealing to them and whoever listening that they bury this dog,
Yes.
Because they have an attitude in bushes, they have so dead animal right in the yard and in the little garden.
Oh, no.
So I hope they take up that black dog I don't know if it's a bus or a car that burns the dog.
Yes.
And it ain't right in the road. So I hope they bury it.
Good.
And they don't throw it in the ravine so I cannot breathe.
Yes.
Good. There was always throw dead animal along there.
I hope they don't understand.
The police, the people in the neighborhood, bury that dog. I tried to get Shaggy this morning, but I didn't get you.
You didn't get you.
So I know you have people listening. Bury that dog. Do not leave it and throw it in the ravine there.
Yes.
For me, please. Anyway, you all have a blessed day. I want to say good morning to Mr. Watt in America and Mr. Decodine and Jingo, Ian in Canada, Patricia, and everybody has been listening to that wonderful program. Sheldon, good morning. Sheldon Scott, good morning.
Yes.
And you all have a blessed
Your former brother-in-law. Take care, Miss Cami.
Yes. Miss Jacob, good morning, darling. I can't come and see you guys.
I'll walk for yourself. Yeah.
Well, she was try.
But she's good, though. We spoke with her yesterday.
I listen to her.
Yes.
I listen to her all the time.
Yes.
Yes, I don't also get a nice day today, but the weather is nice.
The weather not looking nice. We may get ready.
They better play some ball yet. I find they're playing ball, Mr. Bola.
They lost by 1-0. They want to give people a heart attack.
They don't give me that attack. I have me ready on all time listening to cricket. I'm in Q1.
Yes.
I just, this is strong back, man.
I feel we are, Vic.
I don't know, they're vexing all of us. Come in and make fun.
And Miss Duncan, I ask you, I beg you to invite that Mr. on that program.
Yes, it's definitely in the
You
plans.
have to get in there. We need that man.
Yes, it's
All
definitely
right.
in the plans.
Have a good day.
Take care, Miss
You too.
Cami. You'll be
Bye-bye.
good. Nice.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Guys, the lines are open. You are free to call and to share with us whatever's happening in your area. I see some people posting on social media that rain and so on has started falling in the area. But remember that we are just coming off the heels of inclement weather as well. So it's. I mean, I know some of us concerned and so on, as we should be, concerned but not worried. Somebody asked me what's the difference between the two the last time. Concerned but not worried. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Miss Jacob. How are you?
Oh, I had dear with a pain on my chest.
When did that start? Because yesterday was good. Morning. When that pain on your chest started?
It started a while ago there.
Yeah?
But this morning, I don't know if it's the coconut water and the coconut I eat.
No, that should be good for you. Coconut water should be a good thing.
And coconut is only that I know I drink.
Mm-hmm.
Coconut water.
And where is this pain? Where is it? Is it similar to the one you had before you went into the hospital? Because remember, you're just coming off the heels of a respiratory infection, huh?
Bosset.
Huh?
Below me, bosset.
You know what is a boshet?
No, tell me.
Oh, well, too bad for you. You are really, you don't know nothing. You know
I
days.
really am.
You know days when they just say your boshet fall and they put a little rum in a glass
But how I
and they
gonna
light
let
a
Mr.
fire
Bole forget
and they put it on.
And flat your hair in the
I
center of
feel-
your head.
I feel like sometimes you just forget I'm only 30, you know.
So what wrong with that?
Well, how I
30?
gonna know about these things and then?
You could be 30 but have more experience than me. There are a lot of things you could do better than me. Anyway, Miss Jacob, I wouldn't explain where her boshet is for her now on air.
Well, Miss
But
Jacob, you tell me.
I'll go show her after the program.
That's right.
I'm going to show her. But I hope it's not too serious though. But if the pain continues, maybe you should call up someone so they pick you up.
My medication, I'll call nurse
Yes.
Michelle. I'll
Yes.
call
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
And, when I finish doctor, I'll call
Yes, I think you should
Right,
do
so
that.
maybe you should go now and call
her and make
and
sure
then you
everything
let
is
us
okay.
know what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Take
right.
good care. And Kami said hello.
Love you. Kami, good morning.
Yes. All right.
Baby.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Okay, bye-bye. Someone on the live video is saying, but remember, these children's lives have been damaged throughout their lifetime in many different ways, such as socially, emotionally, mentally. Good morning, everyone.
Agreed. And I'm agreeing with that person 100%. I am just feeling
You just
that-
agree to anything other than chemical castration.
yes, but I believe some of these people should be locked up for life, be placed taken permanently out of society. Some of them, not all, some can be easily reformed than others, but they should be placed somewhere where they contribute to society, where they work, and whatever the earnings or whatever they can contribute to must go towards the reformation of these children that they have damaged. You know, the scar that they had put on them, psychologically, mentally, and otherwise. It costs, and it will cost, and sometimes it costs a pretty penny to bring these children back, you know, into society and be reformed properly.
But I think
it should
also,
be the reasoning. But also, and you see, that's why deep, serious investigation, I believe, have to be done when incidents like that happen. And I don't want anyone to feel like I'm here defending the offenders. No. You know, sometimes, out of pure carelessness and lack of any kind of parental wisdom, some of these things happen to some children. The signs are all over, and the parents just,
ignorance, yeah.
you know, they either pay no notice to it, or they're too busy doing other things that they will not take cognizance of certain things.
Yeah.
And somehow I believe that sometimes even some parents have to be part or have to be a part of the burden,
Yeah.
you know, for what has happened to their children in the case of sexual misconduct and assaults and so. I mean, we just have to understand that these little innocent beings were given to us, whether we wanted it or not. We did what we should not do, and we get them. We now must take up serious responsibility
Absolutely.
in caring for them.
Absolutely.
Right? And little mistakes happen. Mishaps do take place. I mean, sometimes you plan certain things and it does not work out exactly as you planned, or you don't get the results that you were expecting.
Yeah.
And one understands that. That's why I say proper in-depth investigation. Yes? You know, There are a lot of people that can be under serious disguise, and you will never understand and know, either by looking or talking or observing them, what the true intentions are. It happens. There are many of us who are capable of hiding our true emotions, or we can disguise it. And can I blame you for misreading my intentions? Absolutely not. But there are some other situations where things are very glaring, very open. Things are happening before your eyes, and you just intend not to look at it. I think you should pay the consequences.
We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Hi, good morning.
All right, I just want to throw in the 2 pence there. Ms. Duncan, I tend to agree with your line of punishment for the offenders. Yeah, Mr. Bola, sorry, I'll go again.
No, you no need to be sorry, my good friend. Just don't sing no calypso about me.
No, but on a serious note, whereas I can see the humane aspect in what Mr. Bola is saying, but I think punishment, especially for these sort of crimes, should leave the rest of the population not wanting to get that sort of punishment. Right. And Mr. Bola, I don't think Ms. Duncan would understand it from a man's point of view, but when that is lost, we are lost. You understand what I'm saying?
That's why I can't bring my mind.
So that is what you were trying to defend.
To accept.
Yes, but something has to be done to really deter people or prospective perpetrators from getting into that line of thought. If they know that I am going to lose it, I will not use it wrongly. I cannot agree with you, Ms. Duncan. Something has to be done drastically to deter people from even thinking about that.
Yes.
So that this mentality of after 12 is lunch, that has to go. That's a no-no. And there are still folks who would even go lower. 2-year-old, 3-year-old, being molested. I mean, I don't know how I would react. I mean, I'm saying that publicly, although deep inside I know how I would react. If somebody was to do something like that to an underage child of mine. As a matter of fact, any child, whether underage or not, no is no.
Yep.
No is no. So I agree with you, Ms. Duncan. And I would not even go to the chemical, I'll go to the physical.
Oh, Lord.
Amputate it.
Oh Lord, I laugh. I mean, we accept anything. Please express yourself. I'm happy for that. And I know, and I did say to Ms. Duncan, there are a lot out there who would agree with her. And it's good to know how we think. But I am always for other reforms. I believe the state now has a responsibility to assist, especially young parents, with better parenting skills, because I think there's a deficiency there as well. You know, the register, as the law that is going to Parliament will help create now, I think will be a good thing when it becomes public. So I know if X person is a registered offender, sexual offender, I need to pay greater attention to that individual when they are around my vicinity, because they already have a record. I know who they are, and the community must take interest in knowing that.
Do you think that all females will shun Bill Cosby now?
No, I don't think so.
Right, that's the point. Any case, that is a bigger topic, because I also believe in the reform process, you know, and it has to be holistic in that parents also have to be mindful, because there are some parents who really sort of set up that kind of scenario for the children.
Yes, I agree.
You know,
yes.
You know a man has always been harassing you for piece of the thing, but you're sending your 5-year-old daughter to ask him for money to go to the groceries. What do you expect? You understand? Any case, the both of you, I got the second shot shot yesterday, and I did not even know which arm I got it on, but it was good.
Thank you for doing that. Continue to spread the word and encourage as much as you can. We know that there's a great pushback, but we have to do what we have to do.
Nah, we have to do it. We have to do it.
Yes, man.
So, all the best. Have a good one.
You be good too. Take care.
Yes. Oh, Mr. Bola, it's a lot of conversation to be had. I think the registry is, yes, a good thing. People have been calling for stiffer penalties. But I think it's a bigger conversation than just talking about stiffer penalties. I think it's a bigger conversation than just saying, let's make sure that the society knows who these people are. It's bigger than us just saying that we should have better parenting skills, because in some instances, we think as parents we are doing the best for our children. You know, in some instances, we feel like we're doing the best for them. And then something like this happens. Sometimes as a parent, you're taking all of the necessary precautions.
True.
And something like this still happens.
Yes, it does.
So, chemical castration it is. We have another call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. You're live on Hard Talk.
Yes, Sabola.
Hi, good morning. Morning. I'm here.
I familiarize myself with the phone on your radio because there is a lot of things about. I had to touch a little bit as I could.
Yes.
My name is Duncan.
Good morning.
I know you Sunday because I told Mr. Bola you are a very brilliant lady. I never met you personally.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Mr. Bola, in 1971, as a little boy, I was the person who brought the trowel to the late Sir Eric to turn on the head cornerstone of the Monk Joe's Secondary School in 1971.
Oh, you who did that? Look
I
at
was
that.
the man with
history.
the bucket, with the mortar,
Yes.
and Eval Postle was the builder.
Yes.
And it's only Wednesday I passed there. And I was shocked to see little Monk Joe's get a university.
Yes, man.
And I don't find we blowing the trumpet enough. I want to meet with Miss Pamela Moses because the builder took me along. I want to see the section, the different section. With the additional, look at Monk Joe's today. Under the new National Party is going to achieve more than a secondary school.
Yeah, well, it's a college now, a small university. By the way, that's where I got my secondary education, you know.
The minister mentioned about $7 million.
About $7 million that is being spent.
People need to know that under this government is the braveness of this government to call such a project. This is not an ordinary school that is going on there.
Not at all.
And we need to talk about it. I had a meeting with Miss Moses, and we had to talk about it because she happens to be the parliamentary rep at this time.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happening, and I think we need to blow the trumpet because a lot of people don't. Sometimes people don't listen to the radio. Sometimes they don't watch news. So we have to do it. I'm ready to blow the trumpet because I'm really, really impressed with what I see going on there. So we need to do more. So you go hear me off and on as time goes on. You go hear me a little more regular because a lot of things happen.
No problem. Call anytime, tell us what you want to tell us, let us know what's happening in your area.
Yes, and this morning I spoke to Mr. Victor. Mr. Boson do the rightful thing. He decided tired and he passed it to a man to continue where he left out.
Yes.
And we have things going because this morning I was able to call Mr. Victor Philip and I tell him I have some names for him. A lot of young people want to meet him personally. So that's showing a very, very, very good sign is that we're going to have the work continue in St. Patrick West.
Definitely.
So once again, I want to congratulate Mr. Boson for that brave move he made.
Yes.
Thank you.
You have a good day. Take good care, Mr. Philip.
Yeah.
Yeah, some history there, Mr. Bola.
Yeah, I know Godwin Philip very well, you know.
Someone on the live video is saying And also to the parents who are encouraging, same, just a little more money in their hands. Yes, we do have those kinds of incidents as well.
And in many cases, the society is aware of what is happening.
Is what is,
or what is being done.
Yeah.
And you know, from the example that the previous caller brought up, while I accept that once the act is committed, the penalty must be faced, right? But sometimes you have to agree. That's why I say thorough and proper investigation in these incidents and cases must be done.
Yeah, but I think the after effect is very important, Mr. Bola.
I'm not discrediting that. I am not. I mean, just understand my point.
I understand that as a man, it is difficult for you to accept.
It's more than just being a man. It's more than just that. My issue here is you commit the act, you must pay the penalty for it.
I agree, and
right?
penalty must be.
The penalty doesn't have to be. Let me just continue that. But if proper investigation is done and the case is being built, you may realize that offender, while I agree 110%, you do the crime, pay the time.
Right.
You may find that there are other people who are implicit in that crime.
Right.
As the example given by the young man.
And I agree that they also must be charged accordingly. However, the bigger crime is the crime that has been done, the physical crime that has been done to the cat.
Accepted.
No, that does not mean that what the others did in inciting, in allowing, in creating the environment for it to happen is not as bad.
And should be punishable.
And is also punishable. However,
it's not also punishable. Because a lot of times the investigation is not.
It needs to be punishable.
Because most times once you catch the perpetrator,
you close the case.
That's where the close case.
That is it. But also, Mr. Bola, there needs to be some sort of example made. And I'll tell you what, it takes a different kind of human being to watch a little baby and want to interfere with it. It takes a different kind of person.
Agree.
So how can we know for a fact that we do not have the facilities here in Grenada for proper reformation of these kinds of individuals.
What facilities do you need?
Now, you need a lot of facilities. There needs to be consistent counseling. There needs to be monitoring and evaluation on a consistent basis, and that is something that we do not do.
So you are agreeing with me that even the worst of offenders can be reformed?
No, I do not agree.
You don't agree
no.
with that?
There are some people who cannot be. There are people who might want to try. I'll give them that. There are people who might want to try.
So even if somebody wants to try, are you prepared to give them an opportunity to try?
Yeah, but then how do you see? And that is the dangerous thing. You give them an opportunity to try, but then in that opportunity that you are giving, you are also putting other children at risk, because it does pose a risk to society. Letting an individual out of jail after 3 years for committing an offense like that, and that's just a number I pulled out of the hat. After 3 years of committing an offense like that, with the hopes that their time in jail has taught them a lesson.
Not just their time in jail. If you recall what I said, I never even spoke about releasing from prison.
You spoke about keeping them in a facility that keeps
they must
them
work. They have to. They must be the one to face the cost of just like you're trying to reform
but
them.
Then that's a cost to the state, because the state will have to take care of these people.
So they can't work to take care of themselves. It's just that you curtail their freedom.
Okay.
They don't go out. They stay within the compound that you place them in, and they must work to feed themselves and take care of them, work to provide the medical fees and every other thing that you need to help to reform and that child that they have psychologically damaged and mentally and physically and sexually abused, this must be a cost against them. And unless these things happen, I don't see any release coming for them.
Somebody is asking, where does grace and Christ come in?
I am not sure, but I hope grace and Christ can fit somewhere between what Miss Duncan is offering and what I'm offering.
At all.
That's what I wish.
At all.
But I don't know if that's the proper place for grace and Christ.
I don't think it's the proper place either. Someone else is saying some of the parents must be held accountable if they are involved in the crime. And in some cases, it's definitely that. They are involved. They, for whatever reason, feel like they need to solicit the services of their daughters to somebody for financial gains. And it sounds bad, but it's a reality.
But that's slightly different to what we really...
But it's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. It's as bad as...
It's still sexual abuse.
When a mother sells her daughter...
To a man, the man still commits sexual abuse. It's the same thing. It's still the same thing. It probably has a different coat, a different color, but it's the same thing. It is still sexual abuse has been done to that child. That child is still going to be mentally, emotionally, and physically damaged for the duration of their lives. And for something like that, for somebody who has committed an offense like that, I think that there is no penalty more befitting than chemical castration. I wouldn't say castration because I have, you know, a little humanity.
I just rest my case on that issue. I say we should read the legislation. We should have more public. I really wish that there can be some greater public
discussion.
Discourse
Absolutely.
on an issue like that. It's really a burning issue that needs to be trashed out.
It is.
We really need to get the opinions of folks out there.
Yes.
And society needs to take a stronger stand on it.
I agree.
I don't want anyone to feel that I am in support of it by saying that I don't support the castration. Doesn't mean that I am supporting it. I am just not in support of a drastic, probably touching on draconian a means of correction like Ms. Duncan is proposing. But I'm in no way at all, in no way at all in support of those who are doing it. And I believe that they must be punished with the firmest arm of the law. However, I tend to take a more moderate, if I can use that word, angle than what Ms. Duncan is proposing. But I am not at all
in support
of the offenses.
We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you, sir? Good morning.
Mr. Bola?
Hi, brother.
Good morning, good
morning. Morning.
That topic there this morning is sounding good, but I have a question I want to ask.
Go ahead. Let's see if we could answer. We don't know yet. Let's hear you.
So why it is if the lady there with the man and they done what they done, and so they trying to make back, and she send the child with him for something.
Yeah.
It is right for you hold on the little child and do anything?
No.
Of course not.
Absolutely wrong. It is not right at all. Absolutely wrong.
It must be wrong. So
whether you send the child or not, it is wrong.
Yeah, so what it is to do with this man?
Well, of course, the law has to take its course. Ms. Duncan is just saying, you know, and putting out that what they should do is castrate them. I say, well...
Chemically.
So if it's me now, if it's my child now, and I hold him, what to do with him?
Oh, well, give him to the police here. Don't try to take the law in your hand.
No, I will take the law in my hand.
And then they go jail you?
Well, never mind.
So you agree to go in jail?
Yeah, I get rid of him.
Okay, well, again, and then you don't only answer to the court and the country.
Well,
You have to answer to God for taking a life.
Again, I go repent afterwards.
So you're planning to commit a sin and then repent?
I don't have little children, eh?
Yes.
I don't have little children. I just joined the reference.
I hear you and I understand
That's
you.
my opinion.
Yes,
But
yes.
if to say I had little children still,
Yes.
I believe I meet that man doing this type of thing. If he kill me, he's alright, but once I could take him, I would have taken him.
Well, I can understand the venom that will come in any man.
Well, again,
even in me, I believe, but we have to try to let restrain,
Yes,
try
but at that time, you don't even thinking if you living.
Yeah.
No joking, no, sir. You don't even thinking if you living.
Yeah, I understand. But I hope we could all think about it sometimes.
In a case like that.
Yes. It's a tough thing to deal with.
Real good stamina, eh?
And self-control.
And self-control to keep away.
Yes.
Because if you meet the person.
Yes.
Oh, God, I don't know now.
Let's pray.
Yeah.
Let's call on the master. Let's ask him for guidance in those kind of things. Because
yeah, that is true. So how things, by the way?
We're holding on. I don't know. I see nothing happened yet from last month. But let's see. We are preparing to make some moves. And if anything comes online, as we talk about, we don't have to let people know our business.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I could always give you a call.
Well, right.
I'll give you a call when something happens.
Were you the one to make the move?
Yes.
Make the move.
I'll make some moves.
Yeah, you're the one to make the move.
And see what happens. Yeah.
So them system that they outside, he coming by us?
Well, based on the projections that they have from the Met Office and so,
I know.
it appears so. They say by Friday evening, if anything.
I'm watching it here too.
And Friday morning.
Friday morning, sorry.
I'm watching it on my TV here too.
Right.
I go on the channel and get them.
And get him, right. So keep in tune. Always listen and check and hear what they're saying.
Yeah,
so once they're going to hit us, they will tell us.
Yeah, but how I'm watching it, I don't find we there in it.
Well, we don't know, those things are strange course from time to time.
Giving.
Yes, but it's strange course from time to time.
No, the part they giving.
Yeah.
Like the Caicos and thing island, Jamaica.
Turks and Caicos and so, yeah.
Dominica and them type of place.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he going west, not west.
Right.
Well, as of the 11 o'clock update, I think not.
West, not west.
The 11 o'clock update is saying that its present movement is west.
Yeah.
At 28 miles per hour.
Yeah, he's moving very fast.
Yes. We had to watch, but we had to prepare. If he doesn't come,
yes.
We praise God. But if it comes, let us not be caught unprepared.
Right.
Yeah, we need to all prepare, and we hope for the best. I really hope it doesn't hit us.
Yeah, but I can get accustomed with that,
No, but that's not something to get accustomed with at all. Yeah.
Because I know what I passed through with them already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sensing
Janet days.
In Janet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Since in Janet time I passed through that and them up to now,
Yeah. It's not something to get accustomed to at all. No. It's something that we wish will never happen.
And you know why the real baddest party, they win,
Yes.
Yeah, they win. I don't fear the thunder and the lightning and the rain.
Well, some people afraid them, some people just run on the bed and hide and
I don't fear them. I just don't like to hear them.
Yeah.
But I don't fear them. But the wind I don't like.
Yeah, man, when the wind gets real strong, it's destructive.
So no joke, In even time, people say they can't see wind, but I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I see it, man. I see how he tweets up doing and all them type of thing.
Yes.
How he take out roof and thing. I stand up in my van and I watch River Road.
Yes.
How he take out roof and roof in the air flying. When the wind break me PHC hard here, I say let me go inside.
You must stay protected, boy. Yeah. Cover yourself.
Yes, I say let me go inside now.
Yeah.
So, sir, take care and keep in touch with me, please.
Yes, good, no problem. Be good and take care too. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, and that is a good topic for the day.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. All the best.
All the best to you too.
Yeah, Mr. Bola, as time is dwindling down, I just want to give the 11 o'clock update that came out.
Yes.
And it reads, Elsa strengthens a little as it races towards the Windward Island. So the summary of 11 o'clock reads that the location is now 10.1 degrees north and 51.4 degrees west, about 680 miles east-southeast of the Windward Island, so it's still significantly below us. And the maximum sustained winds are now 45 miles per hour. Present movement is west or 280 degrees at 28 miles per hour. So we want to keep that in mind. Tropical storm warning is in effect for Guadeloupe. Watch is in effect for Guadeloupe, Grenada, and its dependencies, and tropical storm warning continues to be in effect for Barbados, Martinique, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
And this is one of your faithful listeners.
Yes.
And Mr. Bowler, I have a bone to suck with you this morning.
Okay, go right ahead, man.
I admire the knowledge, the info. They say knowledge is power. I admire listening. I respect your opinions and all of that. But you see, when it comes to this, you've been straddling the fence about this rape thing. And no, let me tell you something.
Yes.
I am a father, raised a girl child from birth up until today. She's 32 years old.
Good.
And
congrats.
I protected her in every way possible.
Mm-hmm.
And in this country, if I had ever met anybody trying to mess with her, I would kill them without thinking twice.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something in this country called temporary insanity.
Yes, you would plead that.
Yes, sir. I don't know how close you ever came to this, but I'm sure you have a girl child somewhere.
Of course, yes, I do.
And I don't
girls. I have girls, more than one.
And you tell me you walk in on a situation like that, and then you're going to be reasoning with that person? Hell no. Maybe after I cut off certain things, then I might say, well, listen, you should not have done this, you should not have done that. But there is no reasoning. There is none whatsoever. So this is my bone of contention with you this morning. I understand you are a balance to Miss Duncan. You are like a scale, a balanced weight, but you can't be straddling the fence on that. You cannot.
Listen, I accept the views of all listeners, but there are times someone has to jump in and say, hey, we're lifting that cutlass a little too high, we're lifting that bar a little too high. And believe you me, I understand and I can foresee any father ending up, seeing something like that or knowing something like that happen, your daughter reporting that, you would get mad. I'm just saying we need to let good sense prevail and try as much as possible to have restraint.
No, Mr. Bowler. No.
I hear you.
There is no trying to have restraint. When you come upon the act or you see your daughter lying in a hospital bed, bleeding and all of that nonsense, no. That is why the law, you can plead temporary insanity in this state of New York because you lose it. You everything short circuits at that moment, and you are legally, or you could plead the legal possibility that you went crazy. You had no control over your actions. And like I said, I respect your opinion. You do a great job, you and Miss Duncan. You're a balance. It's like a counterweight. You're a balance to her ideas and things like that. but there is no compromising on that one.
The verdict is still out. We'll have the discussions. We'll continue. I mean, it's an issue that, in all honesty, Ms. Duncan and I, it's like 2 years now. We've started more than 2018. We started doing some research. We started accumulating documents and getting information from the police in terms of numbers, age group, and it's something that we have always tasseled with, if I can say that, and still intends to try to see how we can bring more light to that issue and get more public consultation on it, because we have never given up behind the scenes. We have not had a lot of open discussions, but that is where we want to go with this thing. We really want to have a lot more open discussion, because we think it's an issue that is still a little kind of stifled, and people need to express themselves much more on it.
And take action when they see it happen. And a lot of it happens. A lot of it happens within families.
Oh, of course.
Really somebody that the child knows
very well. The research has shown that very much. 85% of the times it happens, it is somebody well known to the child, very well established with the family.
That's why you cut it off and then reason with them.
I hear you, my brother. We hear you. Your opinion.
By the way.
Yes, go ahead.
But yes, it's my opinion. By the way, I did my PCR test. My daughter and I, we did our PCR test at Kings County Hospital this morning, and the results are going to be in my chart tomorrow, sometime around 2 o'clock.
And then I'm hoping you leave the following day.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm hoping that I didn't pick up anything from some stupid person that refused to wear a mask out there,
Yes.
Although I'm fully vaccinated.
Yes.
I understand that you can still catch it, even though it will not be as
severe,
serious, or whatever the right word is.
Yes.
You may not have to end up in a hospital. It would be probably the asymptomatic version.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always a risk. But like I said, we did the test this morning, and hopefully everything is fine.
Very well. We look forward to seeing you here.
Yes, we will be there. My daughter got caught up 2 years ago in a storm, in a hurricane in St. Thomas. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago in the one in St. Thomas. And she's scared. She's scared. But I said, Daddy protected you from birth up until now, and he's going to protect you.
Daddy will still be there. Daddy's strong arms will be around her to protect her. Tell her, be not afraid, man. Be not afraid at all.
She was born here. They had the good, soft life. So they
Okay. I get it.
All right, listen, anyway, thanks for listening. But like I said, I have to disagree with you. Not disagree, because I'm sure you don't condone that kind of thing.
Absolutely
but
not.
I think you have to be more forceful to don't have any doubts. Don't put out any doubts out there in the minds of the predators that, Mr. Bowler might think it's okay.
Boy, we just don't know. At the moment's time, things do happen. As you say, temporary insanity can take place.
I believe in that.
Yes.
and that works in the court system if you can prove it.
Okay, I hear you.
Listen, thanks for listening to my madness. And
we appreciate
Grenada,
you all the time.
I will see you all in Grenada on Saturday.
Thank you. And
thank you very much.
Make sure you get in touch with us when you get here, because we need to have some more
I
conversation.
will.
Wonderful.
I will.
Safe flight.
Okay,
get
bye-bye.
here safe. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Well, Mr. Bola, final words?
It was very intriguing today. Sometimes you can bring up topics that can spark a little life in people. And it also shows that people are listening and they have their own views, which we all accept. We don't always have to be thinking along the same path. But that is what brings about progress. That is what makes things happen. That is what causes us to be thinking when we can bounce ideas, as we say, against each other, when we can listen, to the views of each other and respect them. Not necessarily agree with them, but just respect them,
Yeah.
because we come from different perspectives. But I do believe that this is a subject matter, this is an area, like so many other things. There are so many other areas that are topical, and so many other things that we need to be speaking about, and our people need to get involved in and give their views, either by calling or sending making a contribution via the live, whatever you can do. Because some of the times we sit back, we lay back, we become very passive about issues, and wait until something drastic happens. And then when it gets too close to home, and then we start pointing fingers, while all along we just never participated. So I want to encourage our people, please try and enjoy the rest of today. Be responsible, be careful, be aware that COVID-19 is still very relevant, still can affect us, can change at any moment. We can have community spread, we can have an outbreak, and we really try to defend that. But also understanding that there is a tropical storm. It's a storm now. Now that is in and around us and maybe heading towards us. Continue to listen to your radio. Continue to look up online and well, not so much online,
Well,
because
it's better
sometimes
to
a lot
go
of people put up a lot of things that is not very factual.
Yeah, but the National Hurricane Center,
good, yes,
and the Central Pacific Hurricane Center puts out an advisory. I think it's every 4 hours.
Yes.
4 hours. So there was one at 8 this morning. One just came out at 11. The next update will be at 2 o'clock.
2, yes.
And then the other update would be at 5. So you want to try your best to listen to those
5
sources.
or 6, and you say every 4 hours?
Every 3 hours then. To those sources of information. And of course, NADMA has been doing a wonderful job at updating. I see Mikey has also been putting out information frequently that he has been receiving from those sources as well. So you want to stay up to date with your local media so that they can advise you on what is best to do and what actions should be taken. But at least what we do know for now is that we are expecting some storm-like conditions. So we want to put all necessary measures in place to ensure that you are safeguarded, your family is safeguarded, your livelihood is also safeguarded, and also the people around you that may need your assistance get that as well.
So it is not too early to start preparing.
Yeah.
It's better to be safe than sorry. Better you prepare and not use the things you're prepared for. And preparing doesn't mean to go mad, as Ms. Duncan mentioned before, and just panic shop and do all. Just get the basics, the necessities, put away your documents and so have them wrapped properly so they don't get wet, just in case the weather becomes much more severe and comes down on us, that we are prepared to deal with it.
Yeah.
But all in all, we are running out of time. You have a wonderful Thursday evening. God's willing, if weather conditions permit, we shall hear each other tomorrow. If that is not possible, I wish everyone safety.
All right. Guys, we've come to the end of our program for today. And as we say here every day, in whatever you do, be safe, especially today and tomorrow, and secure. Please do enjoy the remainder of the day. We always love to be talking with you, but we do not ever want to be talking about you. Please be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay tuned for the National Report.
National Sex Offenders Registry to be taken to Parliament. We'll have the details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details to the news for Wednesday, June 30th, 2021, I am Sherry Noel. A National Sex Offenders Registry Bill is slated to be advanced for debate in the Houses of Parliament during this calendar year. The primary objective of the bill is to deter potential sex offenders from committing registerable offences and to afford the public the opportunity to be informed of the presence of sex offenders within communities and to take all necessary precautions to protect vulnerable categories of people. The Sex Offenders Registry Bill forms part of the legislative agenda of the Ministry of Legal Affairs and the Attorney General's Office for 2021. Attorney General Dia Forrester says the bill has two main components.
The bill seeks to establish a register of persons who have been convicted of a registrable offence, and the register would be in the control and custody of the Commissioner of Police. Now, the register is intended to be separated into two parts. One portion containing the relevant information on the registered sex offenders, and the other portion containing the specific information available to the public. Now, this approach seeks to avoid contravention of the constitutional right of a person to the protection of privacy of his home under Section 1C of the Constitution. Now, the consultations on this bill have been ongoing, and the Line Ministry, which is the Ministry of Social Development, will be advancing those efforts further prior to it being taken to Parliament.
The Sex Offenders Registry has become necessary due to increase in offences as indicated in statistics provided by the Special Victims Unit and will be advanced through Ministry of Social Development headed by Honorable Delma Thomas. President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Leon, is proposing the creation of a data hub that will encourage resilience, promote investment and growth, and debt sustainability among borrowing member countries. Dr. Leon was making his inaugural speech as president during the 51st annual meeting of the Board of Governors on Wednesday. The new CDB president said the bank's new focus areas are evidence and statistics driven. The global pandemic has taken a blow on the economies of the region, some of which are already struggling to avoid decline. COVID-19 has in most cases worsened these rates, moving the region further away from being sustainable.
We need to measure better to target better. That includes building data architectures and databases to better inform our evidence-based decision-making. It involves improving capacity in data analytics, leveraging developments in big data and digital technology, and requires better measurement of the impact of our vulnerabilities and articulating better. I propose creating a data hub at CDB. And I leave you with the following questions. Could we not be the go-to portal on regional data? Could we not design and build a distance to SDG, Sustainable Development Goals tracker that updates not only the implementation, but the associated measures of distances to relevant benchmarks?
The CDB president challenged member countries to pay close attention to their implementation rates. He said too often there are lapses and time is not properly managed in project implementation. He said moving forward, the bank will focus on innovation to build resilience in implementation capacity among member countries.
We are not implementing projects. We are starting, we are lagging, we are slow motion implementers. And so that is something we need to address. And so the bank will need a strong focus on innovation, underline innovation, to build resilience in implementation capacity in our borrowing member countries. And so that's a big area of focus that we need to do. How do we change the trajectory on implementation capacity? Because only by doing this will we accelerate the pace of development. And only by doing this will we be able to say categorically that we have increased the effectiveness of every dollar that the bank lends, or every dollar of a grant we receive, or every dollar of a donor's contribution that went into the project that was to be implemented but was implemented too late or too slow. If the bank is to function as an effective development partner, moving towards the SDGs, and if we want it to remain relevant, and we want it to be fit for purpose, we want it to be appropriately sized, we want it to be skilled, we want it to have appropriate structure, it then becomes incumbent on us to promote internal structures that will better equip the bank to meet the needs of the BMCs.
The meeting was held under the theme Innovation, Transformation and Sustainable Development. Grenada's Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, a former national cricket player and ardent cricket fan, has described the T20 matches between West Indies and South Africa thus far as extremely good cricket. Dr. Mitchell, who has attended the 3 matches played so far, said the games were competitive and has brought significant benefits to Grenada during this time.
As a serious cricket fan, I like to see a high level of competition, and of course the matches, the second and third one, were very competitive and very close, so it was exciting, and that's good for the spectators and those who are watching the game. Clearly West Indies had a strong upper hand in the first game.
Dr. Mitchell believes the current West Indies team is one of the better ones picked by the selectors, but he identifies the need for a better strategy. The Grenadian leader, who has constantly reiterated the need for COVID-19 vaccination, said he would have liked to see more people attend the cricket matches.
I believe that not enough strategic thinking was put in certain sections of the game, and they may have to look at maybe some couple changes, because they do have players and the team that are here who have not played the third game or the second game, so they may have to look at this. But I think it's been extremely good cricket, and I think the country has benefited enormously from the publicity that it has gotten, and it's only unfortunate that more people did not take the opportunity to be vaccinated, so we can see a lot more people in the stand.
The final 2 T20 matches are scheduled for Thursday and Saturday. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy. To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal. When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Welcome back. 30 fishers and fisheries extension assistants from across Grenada are now more knowledgeable in sea moss cultivation after receiving training under the Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Project (CIAP). The 3-day workshop was facilitated by Leonard St. Bernard. Kellyanne Williams, the Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation and Knowledge Management Officer at CIAP, said the training aimed to educate extension assistants on sea moss production so they can pass the knowledge and skills to other farmers. CIAP is optimistic that the training will foster more awareness on sea moss cultivation and sustainable farming practices to boost production. The workshop focused on processing, preparing and producing value-added products, solar drying techniques, packaging and labeling, and quality management. SIAP beneficiary Kurt Wise has been a CMOS farmer for the past 3 years. He expressed how grateful he is to be part of the workshop and anticipates the use of solar dry houses to enhance his product.
Knowing the different types of sea moss and how they grow in what different habitat, that meant a lot to me, and it would change my approach on going about planting sea moss. Right now we're in the rainy season has come in, so please we wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have that amount of sunlight to dry my sea moss right now because the weather is kind of give and take. One minute you have sun, the other minute you have rain, and sea moss don't do good with the rain, especially when drying. So that's why we're looking into doing the drying houses and the solar dryers, and so which we can dry sea moss in any weather.
Fisheries Extension Assistant for SIAP, Janelle Francisque, believes the training will help her to provide quality services to sea moss farmers and more fishers.
We learned about the sea moss. We learned how to plant the sea moss. We learned the different nutritional values to the sea moss, and we also learned how we can use it on the local market as well as export to the international markets. Normally in fisheries we usually think of it as just fish, but then the sea moss is a different aspect to it. That's like kind of you think of sea moss as agriculture, but it's nice and interesting to get involved in the sea moss farming as well. I think that's a push for the fisheries industry because now we have different products on the market, and I think it's a wonderful industry to get involved in. Those who don't know about it, you can learn about it. It has its challenges, but it is quite interesting, and it's definitely something that I'm really interested in. I just like how it's out in nature. I like the fact that we can go into the water and just, be one with nature, and I think it will be a boost for the economy as well because sea moss is very nutritional and we can fetch good prices based on how well we take care of it from the sea to the plates.
And finally in the news, 8 fishers and 2 sea moss farmers were awarded for their outstanding contribution over the last 12 months during an official awards ceremony at the Hotel Lorena in observance of Fisherman's Birthday in Carriacou. Jarrell McNeil and Austin Frederick were awarded for the largest total landing of fish, while Joshua Clement and Davis Bethel were awarded for most excellent quality fish landing at the Hillsborough Fish Market. Gilmer Clement, Grace Benjamin, Albert Mitchell and Michael Bethel were recognized for their outstanding contribution towards the socio-economic development in the fisheries sector, while recognition was also given to Ken Wilson and Ron Compton for their involvement in sea moss production. Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Honorable Kendra Maturin Stewart, in her feature address, commended the fishing community for their contribution over the years. She added that despite the limitations during the lockdown due to COVID-19, the data collected at the Hillsborough Fish Market speaks volumes to the hard work and contribution that the fishers make towards the development of small economies, and reiterated government's commitment in supporting the sector.
As a ministry, as a government, and as your minister, I pay homage to all of you, all the hard-working men and women of our precious fishing sector. Gone are the days of small fish pots, of reefs and bottom-line fishing. The sector has seen the demise of traditional fishing methods, from run boats to sailboats, to small engine boats, to the emergence of long-line tuna trawlers. And as the dynamics of the global industry changes, so too is our local fisheries department to meet the standards of international norms and of course our HACCP requirements. Our records show that from July 2020 to July 2021, well, we're not there yet, but just one more day, approximately 27 kg of fish were landed, and that sum reflected approximately $220,000 in the pockets of fishermen directly. Approximately 47,000 kg of fish was exported to French Martinique, which valued approximately over $700,000.
Also recognizing and celebrating with the fisher folks were Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs, Ms. Rolla Kwamina, and Fisheries Officer, Mr. Junior MacDonald.
You are very important to us all. Not only for your family, who you would in turn use whatever monies that you gain from your fish or whatever you do doing within the fishing industry as to help your family develop and grow, but the entire nation depends upon you, the fishermen.
Happy Fisherman's Birthday. And of course, you need to congratulate yourself for surviving this COVID period to have this celebration this afternoon.
And with that story, we come to the end of the National Report for Wednesday, June 30th, 2021. Now for a recap of the top story. National Sex Offenders Registry to be taken to Parliament.